If I had to pick just one thing out of all of tech YouTube that I hate the most, it would have to be the concept of fanboys. You like an operating system? They'll tell you why your preference is wrong. You dislike a phone? Tim Cook probably personally wrote a check for you to say that. I mean, people managed to call me a paid Microsoft and a paid Apple fanboy under the same video. And because I think this is so mind-bogglingly stupid, I've come up with a solution. And I'm going to share it with you in the 13th episode of the Story Behind series. Okay, so here's the plan. I'll take the three most important players in the tech industry, Apple, Google, and Microsoft, and I'll say two things that I absolutely love about each one of them. And once I'm done with that, it's your turn to do the same. The point being that while we all have our preferences and should have them, we shouldn't be married to them. So for once, let's appreciate what's on the other side of the fence.
Alright, so let's start with the most controversial one, which has to be Apple. I mean, daring to say anything positive about this company is among the worst crimes you can commit in the tech scene. So let's get criminal. First, I love that Apple only does a few products, but does them right, especially when compared to the other two on this list. Buy any Apple product and you can bet that it will have excellent craftsmanship, it will run stable and polished software, and that it will be supported with software updates for pretty much as long as you will want to use it. Your product won't be abandoned half a year later just because the company found the next big thing to focus on, or because the next generation is out and so you just don't deserve their attention anymore. And that, I think, is a direct result of them only doing a few products but doing them well. My second thing would have to be that Apple essentially made good design compulsory in the consumer electronics world. Be it hardware or software, I can't help but think that Apple's relentless focus on simplicity, user experience, and aesthetics has shaped the entire industry, and mostly for the better. Think of the iPod versus regular MP3 players, the way we interact with touchscreens before and after the iPhone and the iPad, or the way the MacBook Air basically defined what a modern Ultrabook should be like. Sure, there are a ton of other companies who focused on design too, but I think more than anyone, Apple made people expect good designs from their devices. They made it a standard feature which pushed the rest of the industry to focus on it too.
Okay, before you start typing angry anti-Apple comments, let's just move on to Google.
What I am the most grateful for from them is this: web services. High quality free content from independent creators and journalists, and the democratic internet. There are a million other people involved in making them happen, but I think Google is the glue that sticks them together. They have created the infrastructure of the internet. Think of Google Search, Gmail, or YouTube. They help the world navigate and understand the web. And then think of ads. You hate them, I hate them. I've made a video about how I hate that they're tracking us, but we all enjoy what they make possible. And that's pretty much all of the world's knowledge and entertainment for free. Nearly every website, YouTube channel, or blog relies on ads, and more than anyone, it's Google who has given us a place to voice our opinions and a business model to support ourselves. Second, I thank them for making the world's most flexible, and in my opinion most advanced, mobile operating system pretty much free and open source. Basically, anyone who can put together the hardware can create their own viable phone on Android. And this huge flexibility has allowed hundreds of brands to take a shot at smartphones, which in my opinion has created innovation at a pace that would have never been possible without Google's Android. And finally, let's talk about Microsoft. My favorite thing about them is that lately they are daring to think big, like really big. While the other two giants seem to be pretty comfortable with their current empires, I think Microsoft more than anyone else is dreaming up a future where devices aren't stuck in their categories. Windows is getting closer and closer to not only being able to run, but also run well on virtually any machine in any form factor, and their hardware teams have been kicking ass lately. Computers can be tablets, phones can be computers, all-in-ones can be drawing boards, gaming consoles can be PCs, and there is no end to their ambition of blurring the lines between existing device categories. And these experiences are not just possible, but more and more they're becoming polished and user-friendly. I like that kind of thinking. And finally, I'm thankful for Microsoft for this: the machine and the software that I and many people around the world rely upon the most. My PC is, simply put, my most valuable tool. Windows allows my machine to run efficiently, Excel allows me to make my calculations, and OneNote, oh boy, I basically organize all of my life around OneNote. I constantly rely on my PC to work, play, and communicate, and for the most part, I find it a terrific experience.
So there you go. Now, of course, there are a ton of things that I'd want these companies to change. I wish Apple was more open and more innovative lately. I wish Google wasn't one big privacy nightmare. I wish Microsoft wouldn't abandon their fans and their products with pretty much every step they take, and so on. But I think it's also important for us to take a step back every now and then and appreciate that all three have massively contributed to the amazing world of technology that we live in. So now that I'm done, it's your turn to do the same. Put your hatred aside for a moment and let the world know what you appreciate about these three companies. Write it in the comments below, or if you have a blog or a YouTube channel, I invite you to make your own version out of this and tweet it at me at TechAltar. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button below. And if you want to see more thought-provoking videos from the Story Behind series, then be sure to subscribe and also hit that bell button next to the subscribe button so you can get me in your inbox. It's something you've been waiting for. So be sure to hit it, and also follow me in the socials. I'm TechAltar pretty much everywhere. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.